Welcome to the Scouting Report on LUTV ahead of a huge game at Elland Road this Saturday lunchtime. A Yorkshire derby, two of the form teams in the division going head to head, and there is the small matter of an automatic promotion battle too. Alongside us we have former Leeds United defender Ben Parker with us, who I swear is the best pundit around regarding Leeds United. Right, we're going to talk about the Sheffield United game, but let's start by looking back on Tuesday night, Ben, because you were watching on as Leeds United demolished Reading. It was a wonderful performance, wasn't it?
I thought the way we just dismantled them, the energy we had, the cleverness in and around the box, great little dummy by Patrick Bamford. Click must give him a little shout there, but the confidence, the way the boys sprayed the ball around. Yes, Reading set up to try and play an open game themselves, but the way we moved the ball, the way we got players in position, the way the little movements in and around the box.
Wonderful goal, isn't it?
We're so clinical, and you see training ground goals like that, but replicate on a match day is just something else. So, with Pablo Hernandez in form he is at the moment, there's not many defences in the Championship that can stop him.
Is Pablo playing the best football of his career?
He's certainly playing best football, in my opinion, in a Leeds United shirt. Whether it's career, I don't know. He's played for Spain in previous seasons, so but definitely in a Leeds United shirt. And it's one of those players where he galvanises players. When he plays well, everyone else seems to play well around him. So he's a massive player for us.
Yeah, fantastic performance from Leeds on Tuesday. Now, while Leeds were beating Reading, we were hoping Brentford might do us a favour against this weekend's opponents. Now, they had numerous chances. I think it was over 25 attempts on goal. They were playing for 10 men, playing against 10 men for an hour with Brentford, but Sheffield United have proved how clinical they are, and they're in great form, aren't they?
The word you used there, clinical, and that's what they definitely was on Tuesday night. Watching the game back, you spoke about the chances. They had 29 shots on goal, Brentford to Sheffield United's 10, and yeah, they had 10 men for a large part of the game, but even before this red card here, it was a definite red from Medine. There's no qualms about that.
No complaints from him, is there really?
No complaints from him. The manager came out afterwards, says, look, it was definitely a red card. But even before then, Brentford were getting to these positions, creating chances. And for Sheffield United's point of view, even playing at home there, they had two strikers behind the ball, everyone in their own half at times. And that were 11 men. Obviously, 10 men, you do drop a little bit deeper, you do invite a little bit of pressure. And on a different night, Brentford could have easily come out of this game with a victory. Obviously, the keeper there, might touch about him a bit later on. Obviously, the game at Bramall Lane early in the season between ourselves with his mistake. But like I said, they were clinical. They got the chance there. McGoldrick stick the ball in the back of net, and that's what they do: possess goals in the side.
Well, they certainly do. These were the stats from the game on Tuesday night, which is it's quite remarkable, isn't it? But you know, when it's going for you, and I suppose Sheffield United's recent form, it's built on that, isn't it? Their defence.
Of course it is, and that's their 6th game in a row now. They haven't conceded a goal, so there lies the solidness, the kind of togetherness, the willingness not to give goals away, because they know at the top end they've got strikers. Billy Sharp, McGoldrick was said about those two. Hogan's come in. Medine is a big one for us. He's suspended, so that's another tick in the box for us. But they do possess goals.
When you're looking at the two teams, Leeds and Sheffield United, it's quite interesting. They both had kind of watershed games in sort of recent weeks. Go back a little bit further for Sheffield United. They let that 3-goal lead slip at Aston Villa, and since then their form has been sensational. Ourselves, you know, we put in that performance at QPR, which was below standard. Since then, they bounced back 8 goals, none conceded, 3 wins from 3. So it's what the teams at the top of the table do, but isn't it? They have a setback, but they prove their quality, don't they, after it?
Of course you do, and we keep speaking about ourselves. We're going to take care of our business. You're hoping for slip-ups around you, but the 3 teams who are at the top of the form table, the 3 teams are at the top of the Championship table, so it's going to go right to the wire. But, like I say, everything's in our hands. We're at Elland Road on Saturday. Early kick-off, the fans are buzzing. I know that some of the players have put stuff out on social media, want to create a special atmosphere. Look, the special atmosphere will be regardless whether players say it or not, because the way we performed in his last home game against West Brom, unbelievable. The atmosphere that night, electric. So I fully can't wait for the game.
Yeah, we can't wait, and there's so much build-up to it, so much kind of talk about how it's going to go, and there'll be even more, of course, over the next sort of 24, 48 hours in the build-up to kick-off, of course. 2 teams then. This is going to be all interesting, isn't it? What team is selected? We're recording this ahead of Marcelo Bielsa's press conference, where we would expect, Ben, he's going to name exactly the same team, isn't he? We're pretty sure that that's going to be the Leeds United side. For Sheffield United, of course, there is a decision for Chris Wilder to make, because Medine is suspended, but they do have people like McGoldrick and, of course, Billy Sharp, who's been in red-hot form this season, to come in. So it doesn't necessarily change them too much, but Medine has been a starter for them.
He has, and like saying, those two strikers there, Hogan and Medine, they could start in most sides in this division. And that's the difference Sheffield United probably compared to last season, when they had a good season up until around the January time, and they didn't really strengthen the squad at all. But this year they've rectified it, they brought those two guys in, and it's just given them a massive boost up front because, like I say, Billy Sharp, McGoldrick as well, they're the two kind of go-to guys, which they've got the goals, they work well as a partnership, but bringing two extra bodies like they have done, you can rotate them around. So Billy Sharp, McGoldrick's come and got the goal midweek, but he hasn't started the game, so them two will be fresh, and that'll be a danger for us.
Now, Ben, when you're not recording the scouting report and here at LUTV, you've been knee-deep in kind of the textbooks and everything else, back in the classroom doing your coaching badges. So we have a setup here that Chris Wilder has used since he got promoted from League One, hasn't he? 3 at the back. It's a system that these players know inside and out, and it was why they were so successful up to a point last season, and I think it's taken them a long way this year. Leeds, of course, we're very set in how we play. How do these two sort of setups go head-to-head, and how does it sort of play out on the pitch, and what are the things we've got to worry about from Sheffield United's point of view?
It's a very intriguing tactical battle. I like the settle when we played at their ground, because yeah, they're there with the home team on that occasion, like to get on the front foot, but I think they'll drop in. I think out of the setup there, I think that's how they'll look come to Elland Road. But the problem they do have, they have people in midfield like Norwood, we'll touch upon him a little bit later on, who has quality on the ball. He can pick passes, his range of passing is fantastic. But then you've got Baldock, you've got Stevens, 2 wing backs, probably like the offensive duties more than the defensive ones.
Are they arguably the most important players in the Sheffield United team, just because of how they're playing? You know, they're solid 3 centre-backs, 2 up front. It's just, you don't see it very often nowadays in modern football, but does that make the wing-backs even more important?
The massive players, especially when you're playing 5 at the back, well, three central defenders, because you need energy from them, you need quality from them, because basically you're your full-backs and also your wingers, it combined in one, and they possess the quality to do both roles, because, like I said, they can get forward, but we've seen on plenty of occasions the goal they got away at West Brom, we talked about, I think it was Craney, doing the overlapping run from a centre-half position. They've got the freedom to do that, but so have we. We've got freedom to kind of move around different positions. You've seen Luke Ayling get 2 assists on Tuesday night, playing more like a number 10 role, and there's not many sides, bear in mind what the 2 setups we've got here, there's not many who do move around, kind of rotate around, and got the freedom to kind of do that from the manager. It's
going to be interesting because Luke Ayling and Gianni Alioski recently, Ben, we've seen Alioski, you know, popping up with a goal against West Brom. He's getting forward, he's playing really well. Luke Ayling, of course, few assists now in the last couple of matches. So our full-backs are getting forward. That in turn is allowing Harrison Hernandez, of course, to float where he wants to. Roberts is causing problems for teams picking up the ball from deep and running. Click we know about because he goes into the box as he did for that first goal on Tuesday night. So it's going to be interesting to see if we can pen Baldock and Stevens, you know, back maybe with our wide players or the full-backs, and what that in turn does for the midfield. I suppose the idea is Fleck, Norwood, you're going to be dragging the midfielders out into wide position. So it's going to be interesting to see where Leeds' point of attack is. You know, wide, in the middle, probably both. I guess that's Marcelo Bielsa's answer, isn't it? Of
course it is. And the thing from our point of view is when we do get into that final third, can we do what we've done the last couple of games, well, last 3 games, is be clinical. Because against a side like Sheffield United, we spoke about having the 6 clean sheets. You're not going to have too many chances in this game, but the chances when they do come, you've got to be clinical, get the bodies into the box, have the freedom to commit bodies. So, for example, if Harrison's out wide, can you get a Luke Ayling drifting at the far post? Spoke about Alioski getting his goal, drifting in, being an extra winger playing from full back. All these little things will all add up, because if Stevens or Baldock, if they're not fully on it in the defensive duties, we've got players who can get down the sides, get around the back of him, and exploit the defensive weaknesses.
And I suppose you've got to move around these 3 centre-backs, haven't you? Because in theory, you look at it again in simple terms, Bamford against the 3 centre-halves, it's a matter of occupying these guys, isn't it? Getting Roberts, Click, the wide players in and around to kind of, you want to disrupt these 3, don't you, who will want to stay tight, I'm guessing, around the edge of their 18-yard box.
And Patrick Bamford's a great striker to exploit that because of his movement. So he can drop in short, drop in a little bit deeper, but as soon as he does that, he gets runners beyond him, seen Click go beyond him, seen Roberts go beyond him. Harrison, the wide man, Hernandez floats around as well. So yeah, if you just want to look at it like on a bit of paper where it say Bamford against 3 centre-halves, it doesn't really kind of pan out that because that's what you're trying to do, you're trying to shift them over. So O'Connell on the left-hand side, you've got to try and shift them over towards Egan, towards Basham, make them become more even compact, so there's more space down the sides for them to exploit our clever movement and our clever passing.
Fascinating battle, isn't it? I mean, you know, we could talk about it, I think, all day as well, just about, you know, the various kind of one-on-one duels that we're going to see across the pitch at Elland Road as well. And, you know, and differing styles as well. That's the other thing that we kind of discussed. You know, Chris Wilder, you know, slightly different way of going about things from Marcelo Bielsa, and, you know, very much a, you know, kind of British-based squad as well. But of course, we've got our fair share of British players in it. And this is what happened at Bramall Lane. And this was a game where, I think, if I'm being honest and taking my Leeds hat off, Ben, a draw was probably a fair result. They had chances, didn't they? But, you know, decisive moments can win and lose your games, can't they?
Good. I can remember watching this game. I was with a few friends watching it in town, actually, and watching it live and going away from it, I thought, wasn't lucky to come away with 3 points. But I echo what you said there, Tom. Probably a draw was a fair result. But then I've watched the chances back. Yes, Sheffield United have had chances. You expect them to have chances at home, but we've had some big chances. Yeah. I forgot about Apo Jame's chance there, and then this is going to be the roof header coming in as well. So, these were big chances away from home. And it seemed like Sheffield United just proven that we can get into the right areas and we can cause them problems. But obviously this is the goal. Again, the keeper's made a massive mistake, but the composure Jack Clark's shown, and Pablo in the right place, right time. And it made an easy finish. Well, not an easy finish. More difficult than it looked, to be fair, but obviously the quality he's got made it look a little bit easier.
Yeah, it was, and I think when you look back at that game as well, it was probably one of the best performances away from home as well. Really, you know, a key time of the season as well, showing that I think there were question marks about us and whether we could roll the sleeves up and mix it and battle away from home. Well, they certainly proved it as well. Oliver Norwood has been one of the main players for Sheffield United this season, somebody that you've picked out to look out for, Ben, because he keeps them ticking over, doesn't he, in that midfield area. You can see there, chipped in with a few goals, fair amount of assists as well, but he's a key player. You know, he's been around a while, but he's always been consistent, hasn't he?
He's been at good teams at this level. He's been at like Huddersfield, Fulham, Brighton, all teams at the top end of the championships at the table. And it could have been quite easy to pick out another Billy Sharp and McGoldrick at the top end, but he really makes this team tick. He gets on the ball, his range of passing is different class. This is his pass from a corner. It's just not worked in. They've not just kind of like come up with that on the day. It's something they've been worked on. So that's got to be something got to be aware of what the little routines they do. But that cross there, it's more of just a whipped-in pass. And like I was saying, his range of passing is different class. And what he can do, he can get into these positions and pop up with a goal. And that's against Brentford early in the season. And what a finish, by the way. That's a different class finish. And he's a type of player you'd like in your side, you'd not come up against, because he can pick you off, and especially us doing a high press, trying to press over the pitch. Players like him can pop it round you, so we've got to make sure we bang at it against him.
Yeah, keep the ball away from him. Here's Sheffield United breakdown of the goals that they've scored away from home then. And, you know, people talk, I talked earlier, mentioned about the style of playing. People might look at Sheffield United and go, well, you know, set pieces and that kind of thing. It's not the case. I mean, it's proven that this is a very, very good footballing side. You're not where you are in the Division A if you're just purely a set piece kind of team. They do put a lot of reliance on that, but they're a really good footballing side.
Like I was saying about Norwood, Fleck, people like that in the side. They can find the passes. Duffy as well. He's played in the midfield areas. The clever little players, and we've got people like this man here, ex-Leeds United player, Billy Sharp. The goal scoring form he seems to get better with age. You know, he brought Mick Foley over the wrestlers, so I don't know if they're coming up with a new strike force. I'm not too sure, but this is the goal we spoke about at West Brom. They have the fluidity, they have the confidence of the movement. Players, don't matter what position you are, just get into the right areas. So if it's your fullback getting down there, if it's your centre half, if it's your centre midfield player, it doesn't matter, because they can build up play really good. And I like this goal because they've sucked out the fullback tail for Aston Villa, got down the side, put the ball in, and there's Billy Sharp's 6-yard box where you expect him to put the ball in the box. So that's going to be a real key battle, because they'll try and drag our players out of position, and whether we can get back into the right positions or just fill the space with people being aware of bodies around them, it's going to take a big effort, and it does mean you have to switch on for the full 90 minutes.
I mean, Billy Sharp, whether he starts or not, I don't know. Obviously, it might be something against his former club, because actually here, I know he didn't have the best of times, but actually I always thought he performed really well in this year. His goal output wasn't bad as well for the games that he played, but there aren't many better penalty box strikers, let alone in the Championship, probably in the country, are they? And that presents a different issue for Pontus Jansson, Liam Cooper, doesn't it? It's not going to be physical, you know, it's not going to be a battle in the air. It's going to be watching his movement, because one minute you think you've got him, and then he's in behind you, isn't he?
That's why McGoldrick and Shout work well as a partnership, because I think McGoldrick, he does like kind of the heavy kind of work where he's more not of a battering ram, but kind of probably takes the knocks more. And Billy Sharp, is one of those strikers where he's a bit needly, gets in into your face, kind of trying to wind you up. But then, if you're thinking about what he said 2 minutes previous, he'll be on your back shoulder, wait for the cross to come in, and there he's in 6-yard box to tap a ball in. So they're a really good partnership. They work well off each other, they bounce well off each other. But for our two centre-halves, it's probably the best partnership for me in the Championship with those two at the moment. The real confidence, the 3 clean sheets we've now got on the bounce. You can see the confidence throughout the old team, working hard, trying to prevent these goals going in, because, again, for us, our point of view is if we don't concede a goal, we're always going to win games because we've always got a goal in us. Yeah,
we can see here the goals that are conceded by Sheffield United. Just before we touch on that, a word on this man, Chris Wilder, Ben, because he has done it, I'd say, almost the hard way. You know, he's worked his way up through the divisions. He's now in charge of his boyhood club. And I don't think there are many people, you know, rivalries aside, who don't wish him well. But, you know, the way he talks, he's honest always, I think, in his appraisals. You know, he gets the team playing a good style of football. He's one of the best British managers around, isn't he?
He just seems like a nice bloke. Yeah. He seems like a guy you want to go for a pint with. And like I say, put the rivalry of the clubs aside. I'm surprised not many clubs have come in for him. Even there've been a few changes in the Premier League, because the job is done to not only get promoted, keep basically this similar squad together, what they had in League One. They did all right last year, they fell off a little bit, but then to kick on again this second season in the Championship deserves a lot of credit, and so does his players.
I think he's quite good as well. He's picked up players in the transfer market that people might have written off, or people might look at and think, well, they're past their best or everything else, but he gets a tune out of them, doesn't he? I think that motivation seems to be one of his big strengths.
And it's probably a similar trait to him and Bielsa, the similar type of groups of players, but getting the best out of him. And that's a really good trait as a coach, as a manager. So, like I say, deserves a lot of credit. So it'll be an interesting tactical battle from two great managers.
OK, well, look at the goals conceded that Sheffield United have done. Set pieces may be vulnerable there then, looking at that?
Yeah, well, what I saw kind of a pattern, they do obviously they try and play a little bit open, so the players kind of like rotate around, try and get in advanced areas when they do win the ball back. And what that kind of does, this has come obviously from a set piece. They're trying to press out, but they've probably not communicated as much. Bodies have still been in the box. This obviously against Swansea, ball eventually finds its way back in, and then
never really recovered, did they, on the second phase?
And don't get me wrong, it's difficult picking the second phases up, but that's kind of a highlight where, like, again, they're in possession, win it back in the final third, and then can you go counter attack? Can you be ruthless in your finishing? And these are type of things that you've seen from us throughout the season, doing to other sides where we're winning the ball back in the final third, or having second phase of play, and then go punish them. So the setup from here, look, another probably kind of mistake from the goalkeeper. So this is the third time where I've seen the goalkeeper kind of not be as confident, not being demanding in and around his box. And don't get me wrong, he's a good keeper. He wouldn't be playing for Sheffield United if he wasn't. But is that something we can probably exploit? Maybe so.
Last 5 results for us then, looking pretty good overall, apart from that blip against Queen's Park Rangers. But what a response that has been. And I suppose a lot of neutrals, pundits and bookies and everyone else are kind of balancing up this game. It's really hard because both teams are in great form. We'll see Sheffield United's results as well. You know, neither side are conceding, so they're strong defensively. Both teams are taking their chances. So it really is, on paper, certainly, Ben, it's difficult to kind of pick much between the sides, isn't it? Or pick apart. I suppose home advantage is what could be key. I mean, it could see us over the line, couldn't it?
The big key and the big difference can be the fans.
Yeah.
That can be, in these type of games, the difference that gets you between getting a draw or 3 points. So they've got a massive part to play, don't get me wrong. And like I was saying, the atmosphere here against West Brom, I can't remember a time when I've heard the crowd like that. It was fantastic. So I fully expect us to turn up like that, be on the front foot. Yeah, give Sheffield United a lot of credit, give them a lot of respect for where they are and what they're doing, what they're about. But focus on ourselves. I've always said I'm a massive believer, focus on ourselves. Yeah, look at the opposition, but if we're bang at it, we're the best team in this division.
Yeah, and not much between the two sides as well regarding sort of heads. I know Sheffield United have the slight upper hand last 5, but very, very tight between the two sides. How do you see the game panning out? Is it going to be tight? Are there going to be loads of goals? Is it going to be open?
Look, due to the 2 defensive records at the moment, you can't see it being too many goals. Can't see it being another 4-0 like the West Brom we had here. But the attacking players both sides do possess. It wouldn't surprise me if there is a couple of goals either way. But from our, like I said, from our point of view, what a game, what an opportunity to not only get 3 points playing at home, but also get one over your rivals and get that gap to 5 points, because I think that'd be massive.
Now, what's going to be the message in both dressing rooms? Because it's a huge game for obvious reasons. We don't even need to look at the league table because everyone's got it kind of burnt onto their eyelids, haven't they? But from that point of view, is it a game where you must not lose? You know, either side must not lose because Sheffield United, they don't want that gap, you know, getting bigger. We, of course, want to keep it in our own hands. We've got the chance to deal a real hammer blow to Sheffield United. So I know both teams will be going for the win. But is it a game that if you're not going to win, you don't lose it? You make sure you don't lose it.
I know exactly where you're coming from.
Cautious.
I know exactly where you're coming from, but from a player's perspective, a player's mentality, I don't think you can kind of think like that. Because as soon as that thought comes into your head, subconsciously a little bit of negativity comes into your play.
I guess it's how the game goes, isn't it? I mean, you've got to stay out on the
look, if it's, I don't know, 0-0 after 85 minutes, do you think it's a good point after that?
Yeah.
Probably so. But on the flip side of that, you just take a game as it comes. Think, right, it's another game. Yeah, it's against a rival of ours, but go out and win the game. We're at Elland Road. We're at home. We've got a fantastic home record. We've galvanised probably City. Everyone would speak around about the place, the buzzing. They're talking about Leeds United. Everywhere I go, speak to people speaking about Leeds United in a positive way. So, do another positive thing. Go win the game. Look, the game might pan out not in that way, but you've got to adapt as the game flows. We've got the players to do that. We've got the intelligence to do that. But first and foremost, the mentality is go win the game. Yeah, go win the game is the message from Ben Parker. It will be from the Leeds dressing room as well. No question about that. Huge game in prospect on Saturday. One I think that the eyes of the entire footballing world will be on for all kinds of reasons. Make sure you join us on LUTV Live as well. We'll have all the build-up from 11:30, so set those alarm clocks wherever you are and get your match pass at the website leedsunited.com. Ben, thank you very much, as always, for joining us for the scouting report. And, of course, catch all the build-up to Leeds United against Sheffield Wednesday on the official Leeds United app and on the website leedsunited.com.